What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Devil's Customs and Creatures. Today we kick off a multi-video series on the building of a 7-foot-tall robot. About a month ago, a friend of mine who runs a art group called the Anti-Robot Club reached out and asked if I wanted to make an art installation for an upcoming show that he is sponsoring. And of course, I jumped at the chance. For one, it's good exposure for me. For two, it helps him out. And for three, I just like making robots. So this is going to be a multi-series. I don't know how long they'll be. Some may be short, some may be longer. But we're going to kick it off today with constructing the head. Having never built anything at this scale, I started out with a sketch. And I can say right off the bat that I am not the best artist on paper. So I started off with a sketch of the robot and kind of an idea of where I wanted to go. It was very important to me to use as many found or free parts as I could find. And that was part of the challenge, and I think you'll enjoy what some of this is made of. A couple years ago, I found two of these, what I can only imagine to be motorcycle headlights at a flea market. And I just stashed them aside for a rainy day, and sure enough, that rainy day has arrived, and thought this would be a great idea to start off the robot with. I was going to use both of them, but they ended up being too big next to each other, so I just went with this more simple design and just chose one of the headlights to make for the central head and eye of the robot. So here you'll see I'm just kind of dismantling everything and trying to figure out the easiest way to get an LED light in here for lighting, as the halogen inside was going to be too hot and too bright. I always like to say buying a tool is always a great investment, and just so happens I had this weird small pry bar, I guess you could call it, which worked excellent for removing the rubber grommet. And as you'll see, the inside, it's all pretty simple, just positive and negative wires attached to that halogen light. And you'll see me here just dismantling this light just so I can get an empty shell, again, to get an LED light installed. Here I'm showing just some of the process of adding the LED. I have these battery housings from when I purchased some L-wire and decided it would be a good idea to just make it battery operated at this point for the eye, since I would have had to have gotten transformers and stuff like that to plug it in. And I also have more involved wiring plans for later, so I figured just to make it easier, I would make use of this battery pack and get just the LED in here. So you can see here on the lens that there's actually a kind of a larger hole. So what I did was I took a piece of plastic and mounted the LED to that plastic. That way there it will hold a little more secure in the outlet spot for the bulb once I get it all glued in. And here we have the finished product. Everything's all wired, heat shrunk, soldered together. And these boxes offer 3 light settings, as you can see here. A slow strobe and a fast strobe, but we're probably just going to keep it on the solid strobe for our purposes. And of course, no robot would be complete without some greeblies. So I just have some pictures here of what I did for the head in terms of greeblies and how it looks mounted upon the chest piece, which we'll get to in part 2, which will be the body. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and be sure to check in on the series. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And until then, be well.